That they'll say that, well, that makes those people pretty monstrous if they can see like a mother. You can see a mother like that have their throat cut and then their babies be killed. They say, well, you must be pretty monstrous if you can watch that and still eat it. That's something they would say.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
If you can watch that and still eat it, I don't care. Like, that's fine.
Coming from anti-vegan perspective, and I want to get people's opinions on it. Are you interested in talking?
Yeah, I'm gonna finish my sausage roll.
Okay, yeah, go for it. Yeah, you can eat
Vegan sausage roll.
Cool, right. You had a vegan sausage roll, right? Okay, then cool. Well, what influenced you to go for that today? It's all right, man. Yeah, it's probably the worst time to ask you a question.
So I'm veggie.
Okay.
I kind of like dabble. Like when I go like shopping, I'll buy vegan.
Okay.
But if I'm out, I'll still like cheese. And then my mum's like a militant vegan.
Oh, really? Okay.
She only turned like a year or two ago, but she's always like mad into like nutrition and stuff. And, like everything like about like your health and stuff is to do with what you eat rather than like people like. So she tried like every diet under the sun, and veganism's the one that should work for her.
Ah, okay.
And now she's like a militant vegan. That's like over me.
So what is she talking about? Mainly like health stuff, or is she talking about the animals? Or?
Well, she went vegan for health reasons.
Okay.
She got into it because my sister has fibromyalgia, and she has like a lot of like joint pain and stuff. And she went veggie and sort of like tries to keep off dairy, but she's like me. She tries to keep off everything else, but she's not exclusively off everything else.
All right.
So my mum sort of started just cooking like veggie meals for her, and then through that she sort of like strayed into like veganism, and then she was watching like pro-vegan stuff. Veganism's not just a diet; like there's a whole like cult around it. So obviously she's got into that, and she goes to like vegan marches, and she went to a vegan festival the other week, like a normal festival, but obviously all the food's vegan.
Okay.
They get like a couple like vegan activists, like Earthling Ned.
Oh right, yeah.
Like that. Yeah, they get them on.
What do you think about all this? Because like I said, I'm coming from a anti-perspective. Like I've seen so much of this stuff, and I've had my questions, I've had my debates with them. How are you feeling about all this?
I sort of don't do anything like what I'm doing like for the. Health kind of impacts it. I'm not really bothered about the morality of it, but it's more to do with the ecological stuff. Yeah. Because cattle farming and like animal farming in general is like so heavy on the environment. 25% of all greenhouse gas emissions down to animal agriculture. Right. 51% of those is down to methane, and methane's like 25 times as effective as restoring heat than carbon dioxide. Okay. So animal farming is a really, really, really big ecological strain. So I went just to sort of reduce my own impact on the environment because and what about like soy though, right? All the vegans are eating all that soy's being grown in there. Well, there's you're not gonna have a perfect world anyway. Obviously anything to do with like monocultures and stuff, that's still gonna have an environmental strain obviously, but what you've got to consider is just because you go vegan, that doesn't mean you only eat soy. You can spice up your diet. Like you could have like soy stuff one day, like tofu, whatever. Beans, a lot of I mainly eat like beans and stuff like that. Right. But if you diversify what you're eating, like in the same way, like if you're eating meat, you wouldn't have like chicken every day. You wouldn't have pork every day. Right. You wouldn't have soy every day. You could have you can make like a seitan one day. You could make tofu and all that. Like
they say something like most of the soy is grown to feed animals. For meat and dairy. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I've heard about that stuff. A lot of soy and crops in general. Well, that's another argument for like why you should switch to, because if you're growing all that to feed animals and stuff, why don't you just cut out the middleman and use that to feed people? Right. Okay. When you could take the soy and you can make like tofu and everything.
You seem quite pro-vegan for a non-vegan.
Well, yeah, I am. Well, I intend to fully go vegan at some point. It's just that I like cheese. Right. No, but I'm obviously very for it. I read up on everything before I do it. Yeah. And I also like to spite my mum whenever she's on like any other diet. All right. So anything where she's like, oh, this is good. I'll sort of go online and I do like a neuroscience degree, so I'm used to evaluating science. Sure. All right. So so I'm used to just reading through all the debates and stuff, why people think it's good, why people think it's bad and everything, and forming an opinion. And the opinion I've come to is it's good.
A lot of people like me who are anti-vegan, we get a lot of vegans trying to ask us oh, what's stopping you then? Why don't you go vegan? What do you think about that if they ask you?
I go for it, but I don't. If you're in a little feeding circle of oh, vegan's good, and especially most of them obviously go vegan for the morality of it. Yeah. So in their heads, it's literally you're funding murder. I'm not saying you are or you're not. Okay. But the stance of veganism in general is it is murder.
Is it not to you?
No. Right. It's my stance is it's not a terrible thing that we do it, but it's time to move past it.
But I've said something similar.
Yeah.
They've told me like, okay, then go to a slaughterhouse, and like, what do you say to that when they say, you know, go to a slaughterhouse then and tell me it's okay?
I think
that's what they say to me.
Yeah, I think literally saying go is a bit too far.
What do you think?
I don't think there's harm in, you know, doing your research into where your food actually comes from. Like,
yeah.
I feel like when you see like videos like Peter sharing stuff and it's like this mother is dying and it's like a cow like getting like axed or whatever. I don't think there's harm in watching it because you either watch it and you either don't care, which is fine.
Yeah.
And you eat the meat anyway.
Right.
Or you do care and you consider making a change.
Yeah.
The only thing I really don't like is people that won't admit where the food comes from.
Well,
like when people are like, I don't want to watch like a cow get murdered and stuff. But then I'm like, then why are you funding it?
And they've said to me as well, like I've seen people being accused of this, and that they'll say that, well, that makes those people pretty monstrous if they can see like a mother. You can see a mother like that have their throat cut and then their babies be killed. They say, well, you must be pretty monstrous if you can watch that and still eat it. That's something they would say.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
If you can watch that and still eat it, I don't care. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because what I don't like is people that won't watch it and will eat it.
All right.
That's like inconsistent in your logic.
Would you not be worried about those kind of people who could just sit there and watch all of that and then be like, no, is that not a concern for society?
Really. Well, we've been hunting animals and stuff for like thousands of years and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to put a wall between this is not a human being. I do not relate to this living thing personally because of how far removed they are. I mean, we're quite similar, but there's still a very big evolutionary gap between us and like a cow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's very easy to distance yourself from that, and I'm not going to judge anyone that like does that. I'll watch that stuff. Before I went veggie, I used to watch them all, just to prove the point that like I'm watching it, but I don't shy away from it. This is what I fund. I know I do, but I'm funding it.
They call this thing. It's called Speciesism. Have you heard of that? That's what they say that a lot, and then they say like that the thing that the reason we watch it and not care is because that we are all speciesists. Yeah. And what do you think about that?
I think that's just clutching at straws. Like it's very, again, like I said, like it's very easy to distance yourself from it, and there's nothing wrong with distancing yourself from it. If you watch it and do get invested in it and then think like, oh, like this is terrible and stuff, that's fine. That's your opinion, but you've got to accept that not everyone's going to have that opinion. Like, right. And it is genuinely like a moral grey area.
So another one, you said we have to accept it and this is just the way it is. They would then tell me things like, okay, then slavery, we had to accept it, that was the way it was. Women not being able to vote, just accept it, it's the way it is.
Yeah.
Black people less than white people, like lower value than white, that's just the way it is, accept it.
Yeah.
That's what they tell me, like that you're just one of these people. They tell me that is stopping the change, like in the past, all those other people did, like the KKK, like they're resistant of change, and that they're part of the issue of trying to make. Like they tell me we're trying to end violence.
Yeah.
So why would anyone be against that?
Well, I mean, like I said, there's no harm in like trying to like stop it. But I think hang on, let me just formulate my answer. So, like how we're an evolutionary leap from cows.
Yeah.
To associate eating meat and slavery is a very big leap of logic.
Well, they say they say that black people were used to be not considered human. In the same way, like a cow is considered like lower than a human, black people used to also be considered subhuman. So it's actually quite a similar comparison. They tell me.
I understand that, and I understand where they're coming from. But I still think it's a very big leap of logic because you can look at like if you went back to like 1850, whatever. Obviously, society would be like, oh, they're subhuman, but you can look at them and go like, that is like a person.
Well, that's what they're doing.
That we just value less. But
that's what they say they're doing. They say they're looking at a cow and they're saying that cow is worth value, just the same way that that's the comparison they draw. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, like it's fine to have that opinion. I'm not going to begrudge anyone that has that opinion or doesn't have that opinion. What I am going to begrudge is people being so militant about enforcing that opinion either side.
Right.
Like, there's no reason for like someone who's like so anti-vegan to be like, oh, like bacon or whatever. Like, there's no need for that because it doesn't affect you and vice versa.
Yeah.
But then again, by the same token with vegans and stuff, there's no need to like force veganism on people. You're not going to force things on people and they're going to accept them. I think it's better for the whole thing, especially with something as complicated as how do we eat. It's better to sit back, have a conversation,
right,
and then sort of let the doubts fall naturally. Here's how you can simply change your life to make it a bit better.
Right. Okay. I asked you earlier on. I said, Mike, what do you think of vegans who are like asking people like, what's holding you back? What's stopping you? Why won't you be vegan? And actually now I've been asked that question. I know what I answer to it. I want to know how do you answer them? Or if there was one right here, a vegan right here, who just asked you straight up, like, what's holding you back, man?
Well, what's holding me back from going the full way is I don't really know. It's just like, well, my main thing is I go from around here to back home a lot because I live here for uni.
Right.
So I'm here and back home and stuff a lot, so it's hard for me to shop properly because every time I buy it, because I like to buy things fresh and stuff, but if I buy something fresh, it goes off.
Yeah.
Because I'm here for like 3 days and then I go home for like 3 or 4.
All right, yeah.
So it's hard to like keep like fully vegan and stuff when like a lot of more processed stuff that will last longer.
Right.
Has a lot of animal product in.
Right.
Like, mainly like, you know, milk and egg.
Right.
And stuff. And as well, like, veganism's only just on the rise, so there's not a lot of infrastructure in to keep it going. Like, you need to have, to fully commit to going vegan, you need to definitely have like the moral like core that most of them have.
Okay.
You know, to like, you know, to restrict your diet that much.
Right.
But I don't fully have that yet, just because I'm not, my stance on it isn't ingrained in like morality. It's ingrained in like, eating meat's alright, but it would help if we move past that.
Right.
So I'm sort of, but that societal change is going to take time.
All right. Yeah.
So naturally, it's going to take time for me to change more as well. If that makes sense.
It's very honest. I think most vegans would appreciate an honest answer like that, rather than the usual kind of silly answers that they get. Right. So I guess I've just got one more thing to kind of, I guess, to tell you. I've not been completely honest with you. Okay. I'm actually a vegan activist.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I was like,
so this is like a bit of a social experiment. Okay. I'm happy I got to reveal it to you now because I really don't like playing that character. It's not very fun. But yeah, being all serious and stuff. But no, you've been. That was really good. Like you gave some really good answers. I feel a bit guilty because you said, "Oh, the vegan festival." I was there, man. I did a speech there.
Did you?
My name's David Ramsden. I did a talk.
She went,
yeah. On your last point, man. I appreciate that honesty, and all I would ask for you today is to go away and just watch one thing. Will you agree to it? Just to watch one thing. It's called Land of Hope and Glory.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Yeah, watch that. Earthling Ed made it. It's UK based, the whole thing. Yeah. Watch it from start to finish, and that's all I have to say to you, man. We've discussed everything else. We've gone through quite a lot of stuff. I guarantee if you watch that, you'll have a bit of a different perspective. You know what I mean? It is, it's educational. It's not shock factor. Right? I'm not trying to shock you here. It's pure educational. It does have shocking stuff in it, but it's not just like a horror film, right? It's all about everything and how it works. And I think that'll give you maybe that little boost you need to kind of make that extra step, because you were saying the moral thing is lacking. I mean, that's for a lot of people, and watching something like that will connect to the morals, I think, man. Yeah. And one more thing as well. Have you heard of something called Challenge 22?
Yes.
Yeah.
22 day vegan challenge.
It is, yeah. It's kind of like a challenge, but it's actually just a cool community. It's not culty, as you kept saying. It actually genuinely is just a load of volunteers that want to help new vegans with new stuff, like you said, ingredients and stuff like that. So you can find, like, they know Preston, they know Lancashire, they're all based in the UK, the ones that are in your group, so that could really help as well. Thanks so much. And will you commit on camera to watching the video?
I'm having glory.
You gonna do it? Yeah. That's awesome, bro. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Good to meet you.